Remove some protections. We miss our 1. There we go, we got some basics on him. We get the root for the stun. We hit him with the 1. Apollo ults in. We're going to have to use our ultimate to rewind a little bit. Now we have all of our cooldowns. We're going to use our 3-1 combo and some basic attacks. He dashes aggressively into the minion waves. I have a feeling he did not mean to do that. And we're able to pick him up, getting the double kill. And that is the beauty of Chronos' ultimate. What do, Scooby Boo? It's your boy SeanyB Gaming, and today we have a viewer request to play Chronos carry. If you are new to the channel, I upload 6 to 7 times a week. I add some commentary to a game that I've already played with the intention of seeing what went right and what went wrong, and hopefully there's something that we can learn together. If you are a returning viewer, magical ADCs have gotten a lot of love since the mid-season patch. The Ring of Hecate received a new passive, and it was absolutely broken. It was a super strong item. They recently nerfed Ring of Hecate, and it's still a really good item. So I thought I'd upload a magical ADC video, since this was a request, and try out this new nerfed Ring of Hecate. So let's go ahead and dive into Chronos' kit. Chronos' 1 is going to be a little circle ability. I love the description. It's very simple. Deals damage.
But they know nothing.
So this ability has a super low cooldown, and it's probably going to be the ability we're going to want to level up first. Chronos' 2 is a little bit complicated, so we're going to step back and come back to it. Chronos' 3, he's going to shoot a line attack forward that is going to stun enemies. This attack is going to tick twice, so at level 1 it does a damage of 50, but it ticks twice, so it really does a damage of 100 at level 1. But it has a pretty long cooldown, so we're actually going to want to put a point into our 1 before we put a point into our 3. With Chronos' 2, Chronos is going to accelerate himself. He's going to get some increased movement speed, some increased attack speed, and then he has 4 sections on his wheel. Each one does something differently. So if you can get the arrow to stop in the top section, you're going to get a 1.5% max heal per second. If you stop it in the second section, the section on the right, you're going to get a 100% mana refund on your abilities. So you can cast your 2, if the arrow is pointing to the right, you'll be able to cast your 1 and 3 for free. You get some good damage onto this Apollo. Let's see if we can get him. Baron does a good job body blocking. Unfortunate, we almost got the pick there. So then the third option on Chronos' wheel is going to give him 25% magical power, and then the fourth option is going to give him 35% magical power. So if you had to choose between any of the wheel options, you preferably would want to go with the 1, the 2, or the 4. If you have the option between 25% magical power and 35% magical power, you're obviously going to want to pick the 35% magical power as often as you can. Chronos' ultimate, he's going to rewind where he was 8 seconds ago. That includes his health and his mana, and then all of his abilities are going to go on cooldown. We see that somebody is pretty far in our back jungle, so we're going to rotate towards it. We're just going to forget about the lane, see if we can help our team get a pick. Does not look like it's going well, and it looks like by the time we get there, our team fight might actually be over. We miss our stun onto the Chronos. That's kind of... We are Chronos. We miss our stun onto the Oleron. We get it with the 1. Arachne's able to clean him up. So, the last thing to talk about is Chronos' passive.
No problem.
Chronos becomes empowered as time flows around him. Every 2 minutes, he's going to gain a stack that increases his magical power, and it stacks up to 25 times. These stacks are permanent, and you gain 5 magical power per stack. So, at 50 minutes into the game, Chronos could potentially have an additional 125 power, which is a pretty big deal. That's basically a free item, a free strong item.
We need to help our friends.
Apollo trades out with Arachne, but I'm able to get the Apollo.
Do you expect an apology?
This Baron is good. He hits a lot of his abilities, and he's constantly poking me out.
On my way.
Right as I say that, I get him to miss everything. We're going to get our stun off onto him. We're going to get our 1 off onto him. We're going to hit him some basics. He doesn't really have any mana, so I feel like we can actually outbox him right here. Arachne is looping up through jungle. If Arachne goes on him, and I go on him, we're probably going to get him. We miss our 3. Oh, we get him with the 3. Then with the 1. Arachne misses her stuff, and we're able to get the pick. Very nice. Off to a great start in dual lane. So in terms of the items, we went with Hunter's Blessing, and then we went with the tier 1 option of Ring of Hecate. And then we're going to be going into boots before we finish the Ring of Hecate.
Be right back.
We have enough money for boots, so we're going to go ahead and back. So right here, I think you have an interesting option between the lifesteal boots and the cooldown boots. I'm going to be going into the cooldown boots because I do not plan on building a lot of cooldown later on in the build. And the Ring of Hecate will give me some lifesteal, but by doing this, my laning phase until I can get Ring of Hecate online is going to be a little rough. I can really get poked out in terms of my health. So I want to be very careful, and I've got a lot of gold to farm before I'm actually able to get my lifesteal online. So until I get my lifesteal online, this play is kind of all dependent on my cooldown boots. The fact that it doesn't have lifesteal might turn around and bite me. Here comes a ult. We're going to use our beads. We did have our ultimate, but I feel like beads was just the simpler thing to do.
An ally has been slain.
Aaron's getting some good poke. We have our 4th option on the wheel, so we're getting the 35% increased magical power.
Your middle tower is under attack. Augments, activate.
In the early game, I feel like your focus is primarily on clearing. So what I like to do is use the 2 whenever it is on the mana state, so I get the mana reimbursement. We get the 3 off onto the Baron. We did not hit any of the wave with our abilities. We hit Baron again. Arachne is getting melted. So they're both pretty weak. I think that there's something we might be able to do right here. We're going to get our 3 off, our 1 off. We're able to get the pick onto Chronos. We're going to go ahead and rewind just because we lost a little bit of health. Probably not the best rewind right there. But I wasn't sure how hard the Apollo was going to push. I use all my abilities on the wave. None on Apollo. Apollo's going to ult away. So we're just going to clean up the wave. We're going to assume that he's just ulting back to base. So since they're both back, we're going to clean up this wave and then maybe check camps.
You made a grave mistake.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So they are returning back to the lane. Ravana is here, and this Ravana is pretty good. We miss our 3 onto the Ravana somehow, even though we were literally right next to him. We get ulted. We get some damage off, and it looks like we're going to be able to wiggle on out of here. Susanna rotates in, does some damage, but we're not really there to follow him up.
Nothing has ever
So we have the tier 2 version of Ring of Hecate. We're going to pick up some health potions because we are getting poked out a little bit.
Be careful left. Activating.
3 people over here. We're going to use our 2 on the mana reimbursement so that way we can cast our 3 and 1 without losing any mana. So Baron has the item that whenever he lands his heal, he's giving bonus protections to anybody who received the heal. Anytime Baron lands his 2, him and Apollo are going to be a little bit tankier for a few seconds. We're going to use our 2 on the mana reimbursement, use our 3, use our 1, wiggle back under tower. We might have to use our ult here. Looks like we are good. They didn't really fully commit or drop any ultimates on me, so I didn't want to use my ult unless I absolutely had to. We missed our 3. That was a very late reaction. Arachne ate the Baron ult. I turned away to run away from it and used my beads, but Arachne had already eaten it. So that was a little bit of a bad play. So by maxing out the 1 first, we have Great Poke. We can cast this ability less than every 7 seconds. It does help if we hit it though. That is an Oleron ultimate. 3 people pushing over here. It looks like Suzanne is going to back. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of help. Kind of looks like it's just us. We're going to use our 2 on the health regen because we are out of health pots. Arachne's going in onto the 3 people. It's very brave. We get our 1 off. Here comes a Merlin. We're going to focus the Baron. We get our 3 off onto 2 people.
They were warned.
We're going to start trading with this Oleron. And Arachne is able to get a double. Here comes a Robin. We try to rewind, but he did too much damage too quickly. He was able to melt us down before we got our ultimate off.
Our allies are in trouble.
Okay.
Take care of Papa.
Okay.
So we still don't quite have enough money for the Ring of Hecate, so we're just going to go back to lane.
Little gods, run away.
If we would have had the lifesteal boots, there is a good chance that we would have been able to keep our health above a certain threshold, and then we would have been able to survive there.
Under attack.
So that death might have been preventable from wards, it might have been preventable by me going into the lifesteal boots. However, I think picking up the cooldown boots still is not that much of a detriment. This awkward laning phase where I'm trying to get Ring of Hecate online without any lifesteal does kind of hurt my overall progress in this game with Chronos. However, we're not picking up cooldown later. His 1 has a short cooldown, but his 3 and his ult have kind of a long cooldown. We miss our 3 again. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. With Chronos, don't miss your 3. There's a tip for you.
On my way.
But a serious tip for Chronos is if you're clearing wave, use your 2 and use it to get the reduced mana costs, and then use your 3 and 1. So in this game, I was playing with some friends. I was on 2 controllers. One of the controllers had my mic set up and it was dying because the batteries are low. When that dies, my Xbox party plays through my TV, so my capture card picks it up. So if you hear some random voices, that means that my controller died and it just got picked up by the card. We use our 1, we almost get a poke onto Apollo, we got the minions. Now we have enough money for Ring of Hecate, so now we should be feeling pretty big. Ring of Hecate is going to give you some magical power, some attack speed, some life steal, and it's also going to have a passive that as you trade with an enemy, landing basic attacks on them, you're going to reduce their overall power and increase your overall power. It stacks up to 3 times, up to 15%. So now that we have our Ring of Hecate, we are looking to fight Apollo as often as possible. We miss our 1.
Sorry.
So we already got 2 stacks on him just by hitting him twice with the basics.
Another dimension.
He's fighting into us while we have minions. It's a very interesting play.
We need to help our friends.
We're going to keep trading with them. We're going to go ahead and ult.
Be careful left.
It's going to take us back. We get these stun off. Baron rotates and forces me to peel off. There's a chance that I could have kept just pushing that Apollo, but Robin was also nearby and I did not have my ultimate. We're going to use our beads on his root, and that was just enough to get us away. We do not have our beads for the Baron ult or our ultimate, so we got to be very careful on our spacing with Baron right now.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Enemy missing left.
Your
You
middle
won't live to
tower.
fight
2
another
people are
day.
rotating out of left. We got two people pushing the Oleron into our left jungle. There's a chance that the enemies are going to meet up. Does not look like it though. Robin is putting pressure onto the Susano. Oh, we can totally get this Apollo. Goodbye, Apollo. Oh, his dash. His dash took him out of my explosion. Even though he got stunned mid-dash. What a shame. We're going to rotate back to this team fight. It looks like there is a team fight going on. We're going to come in. Use our 2 on the mana. Get a stun off. We get a pick onto 1. Get a pick onto another with that 3. And Arachne is able to clean up the Robin. Apollo ults in to 3 people. Oh no. Me and him trade out. I remember that. So with 2 other people around me dealing damage, somehow he just manages to lock me down. I think he hit me with 2 basic attacks, and I think I hit him with 3 basic attacks, and we ended up trading. We both shot our final basic attacks at the same time in a mutual trade. So after the Ring of Hecate, we're going to be going into Demonic Grip. Demonic Grip is very similar to the old Executioner. I believe it's still the 12%, so every time you land a basic on the enemy, you're going to be removing 12% of their magical protections. And this not only applies for you, but this is also going to apply for the other magical damage dealers on your team. So if I hit Baron with 3 basic attacks, he's going to lose 36% physical or magical protections for everyone on the team. So that means that Merlin can hit him harder, Hades can hit him harder. Plus, we're also going to have the 5% power reduction per stack. So it's going to be minus 36 protections and minus 15% power.
Nice job.
Baron's here. We're going to wiggle out of his abilities.
I
feel like we're really in it. We're going to go ahead and ult because we got CC'd. We're going to go ahead and Aegis and just eat this Baron ult. We get the 3 off, we get the 1 off, and we're going to fall back. Arachne pushes. So now that Arachne is in the front, pushing them back, I'm going to clean up the minions, lifesteal off them a little bit, and keep pushing up with her. We're going to use our 2, we get our 1 off, getting some basics off. But unfortunately, I think we're going to have to back up right here. We get our 3-1 combo off onto the Apollo. So now that it is just Baron left, I feel like we have a good chance at staying around and getting a pick on him, but we're actually just going to rotate for our purple. Grab the gold and XP from this bad boy, and also pick up the bonus attack speed and protection removal.
Be right back.
Your right tower. Enemy
An
missing
enemy
middle.
has been slain.
So, enemy missing left, here comes the Baron. We're going to peel back, dodge his abilities, we get rooted. Trying to land a few basics onto him. Remove some protections. We miss our 1. There we go, we got some basics on him. We get the root for the stun. We hit him with the 1. Apollo ults in. We're going to have to use our ultimate to rewind a little bit. Now we have all of our cooldowns. We're going to use our 3-1 combo, land some basic attacks. He dashes aggressively into the minion waves. I have a feeling he did not mean to do that. And we're able to pick him up, getting the double kill, and that is the beauty of Chronos' ultimate. You can get somebody to engage on you, and then just rewind, they've blown their kit, and you have your whole kit ready to go.
The Gold Fury.
After going into Demonic Grip, we're going to be going into Telkhines Ring. Telkhines Ring is the equivalent of Quinsai, but for magical hunters. It's going to remove a percentage of the enemy's health every time you land a basic attack. So if they have a bajillion protections, you're still going to be doing that percentage of their health reduction or removal every time you hit them with a basic attack. So it's an item that is very good for shredding tanks. We're going to make our way back to
On
lane.
my way.
Feel like we've had a pretty good start to this game so far, and our mid game is turning out pretty well.
Our allies are in trouble.
Gonna go ahead and use our mana refund from our 2 to clear the wave. Our purple is almost up. There are 3 people in our right lane. It's kind of a hard rotation for us. If we rotate, Apollo could just clean up our tower, maybe even push the tier 2 tower. But if we don't rotate, we might lose all of our teammates in that team fight. Merlin needs to rotate right. He's taking a little too long. So we are going to clear this wave.
Your right tower is under attack.
And then we're going to head out to the team fight. I think all 4 of the enemies, other than the Apollo, are actually in right lane. So we're going to work our way over here. It's going to take a few seconds to make the rotation. Hopefully we can come in and make an impact. We do have our ultimate in case we need to rewind.
Your right tower is under attack.
And at this point in the game, I think we could use our 2 to get the 35% magical damage. But it looks like we're going to use it for the mana. Hades comes in, does a huge ultimate. We miss our 1 onto the Robin.
Double kill.
Arachne gets a slow off, and we're able to get the pick onto Robin. So even though we did not do a whole lot right there, our team was able to clean up the team fight. Looks like Hades had a pretty clutch ultimate. We picked up the Telkhines ring, and Apollo is on our tier 2 tower, which is a little unfortunate, but that's what Apollo does really well. Split pushes. So we lost our tier 2 tower. We're going to have to hang out in this lane a little bit to make sure that Apollo can't do that same thing, but to our Phoenix. We're able to clear the minion wave. We're going to keep pushing up. So, having all of these rings online, the lifesteal from the ring of Hecate, we are kind of hard to deal with right now. It's going to take a decent amount of CC or a decent amount of burst damage to really get us down. If we can kind of wiggle in and out of fights, we should be pretty good, pretty safe, and we should be able to get all of our abilities off and heal from either a camp or an enemy in the meantime.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower.
We were able to get the tier 1 in left. We're going to check their purple, see if that is up.
And is now rolled into fight.
2 people here, so we're just going to throw our abilities and kind of back up.
On my
We did
way.
not get the purple. Hades is going to ult.
You've only just begun, haven't you?
Probably didn't need to rewind right there. We get our 3-1 combo off onto the Baron. We got to step out of the Oleron ultimate.
Made a grave mistake.
Looks like Oleron's about to get away,
Your life's
but it's a long shot.
end.
So now we're going to clean up this wave. It looks like there is a fight going on, but we can really melt this tower with just a few minions. So that is what we're going to work on.
They were warned. Our allies are in
It
trouble.
looks like Susanna's getting chased by 2. Merlin is pushing mid. We're going to rotate to the team
Don't leave
fight.
friends behind.
Susanna goes down. Now it's just the Merlin. Merlin goes into the middle lane.
Destroyed a left enemy tower.
If we route right there, there's a chance that Merlin goes down and then they just turn
Our
on to
allies are
us.
in trouble.
We do not have our ultimate, so we're just going to play it a little safe. Apollo rotates in on us. We're going to back it up just because we don't know where the enemy team is. And he kind of chunked me a little bit. We got to heal off with our 1 from life stealing on the damage. We're going to rotate to our purple, see if we can life steal off of this, get some golden XP. Gold Fury is not up, so I don't really need to be concerned if they go for that right now.
Made a grave mistake.
Apollo is still checking out this left lane. We have a pretty penny in the pocket, so we're going to go ahead and back. And in this game, I believe I'm going into the Spear of the Magus, but I think a better option would be the Obsidian Shard. So right now, we have a lot of attack speed, a decent amount of power, some lifesteal. What this build is lacking is flat or percentage penetration. I think that the percentage penetration is a little bit better in the late game, and since we are entering the late game, I think the Obsidian Shard, which gives you 20% magical penetration, and its passive gives you an additional 10 or 20% magical penetration on your first ability cast. That is going to really help us get our damage off in the late game. So I would recommend going into an item like Obsidian Shard, and Soul Reaver. Those two items combined would put you at 30% magical penetration.
On my way.
40 would be ideal, but I think those two items are just really strong. So I think Obsidian Shard and then sell the Hunter's Blessing for Soul Reaver, or go into Soul Reaver and sell Hunter's Blessing for Obsidian Shard. We're gonna get our 3 off, we get our 1 off. Baron is going to ult.
An enemy has
Susanna
been
is able to
slain.
get the pick onto Baron. We're gonna get some basics
They were
off.
warned.
Merlin's able to get the pick onto the Oleron.
You've only just
This
begun,
team fight
haven't you?
heavily went in
An
our
enemy
favor.
has been slain.
That's 4 down.
They're both
Robin
gonna be
ults in,
high.
gets a pick onto 1, gets a pick onto 2.
2 for 1.
We're gonna go ahead and ult because this Robin is melting us. We are able to get the pick, so now we should be able to get a free Gold Fury.
Attack left lane.
I think the actual play would have been to attack left lane right here. We could have run up to the left Phoenix, had a minion wave right behind us, and then probably gotten the left Phoenix, but since we stopped at Gold Fury, we don't really have the timing. They're about to be back up, so they're going to be able to be there and defend the left Phoenix. Unfortunately, somebody left, and that's going to cause them to surrender. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you learned anything at all, please check out the channel and subscribe for more content. The stats for this game will be posted in just a second. If you ever want to reach out to me or have a question about Smite, the Discord server is in the description down below. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.